Hello everyone, welcome to the description of the asynchronous learning elements of this unit. So this is an imagined unit, by the way, and this unit would be a blended unit, which would have aspects of the course that are face-to-face as well as asynchronous. So I would imagine that the way this course would work would be a kind of flipped model where students would be expected to engage with introductory lectures as well as learning content and readings. As you know, it could also include discussion boards, and then students would come to a session where they would consolidate that learning. They would have more practical applications and various review tasks as well. So the asynchronous learning, part of it is actually just the content on the page, which we may not consider part of the learning, but it's there as it provides context and gets students sort of thinking already about what the expectations are of them, seeing some keywords, what am I going to do today, how am I going to approach it. They may even use it to organize their own time and learning methods, seeing, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing, so how am I going to create a schedule for myself or make sure that I get all of that work done. So it's sort of encouraging that self-regulation as well. The video lecture or the video introduction, I didn't use Echo 360. I probably should have used Echo 360. I usually design using Canvas LMS, not Leo LMS. It was a little bit challenging. I wasn't sure how to use that. So yes, I did not use Echo 360, but it is there embedded on the page, which is something that hopefully students could find. I would like to have improved the navigation elements. If I was more familiar with Leo, I probably would have made it easier to find, but hopefully it's right there for them to see. And the video is a little bit long. Could have used a script, but it's an attempt at making it chunked. It goes for around 10 minutes, and I am speaking quite slowly actually in the video. So it supports multi-channel learning, and having a video lecture, for me it's really important as well because of the affordances of being able to pause the video, take notes, go back. It's also something that you can access at any time, not just watching again, but you can access it at any time. It will exist in that space. And then there are other benefits as well, such as having subtitles. Unfortunately, I couldn't put subtitles or closed captions this time around due to issues with time. I would have liked to have put that, as studies do show that there are many benefits to having subtitles, and there are a variety of students who maybe they have disabilities, maybe they don't, maybe they're accessing it in a noisy place. There are a variety of reasons, but subtitles would be beneficial to them, and it has greater affordances for learning. And then I tried to utilize UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, by having only relevant images. You can see in that little image actually that there's a brain. It's probably not that relevant, but it's supposed to symbolize brainstorming, and there are not that many images. There's text that just appears sort of when it's being spoken about, though I did speak about something and had changed the slide already. There's definitely some criticisms that you could make about the video, but there's not that many, there's not a lot of content on the slide that's taking up space, I hope. One of the review activities is an image hotspot. Image hotspots are a nice way to review content, and reviewing the content in a different mode just allows you to access it through different channels and to recall that information. How image hotspots work is you can see on the Venn diagram there's these little information icons. You click the icon and then some text comes out and it allows you to read about that. So this is something that I actually made for Leo. Everything else is more of a placeholder, but you can go ahead and look at that and see that this is another way to engage with this content. So it would have in the video had like more of an audio explanation. Now you can read it. I also created a planning sort of activity. I did have some issues with making the embed image smaller, so it is a little bit strange to look at it. It's a very large image. I wanted to have an image and then a attachment where you could attach that as PDF and you would print it, but I also couldn't attach it in the same space. So you'll have to imagine that that's what it would be like. So you could download it, you could print it, you could write on it physically, which has some benefits. Some people may feel that having that tactility and being able to have the different spatial elements is something that benefits them, but others like doing that online. So you could also annotate a PDF using an electronic device. It's something that is created to suit the hypothetical assessment, which would be planning a unit. So it's useful for students, and that would sort of ensure that they do complete that activity. They would be expected to complete it before coming into the class. And it's something that's relevant as well. It's relevant to the course content. I tried to choose interesting colors, which some people don't care about, but I tried to choose interesting colors and a, kind of cute design so that it's sort of interesting and novel enough for students to be interested in it and have a look at it as well. The readings, they're very specific actually. I've chosen readings that have clear examples of the applications of the type of design talked about in the lecture. So they don't just get a theoretical concept, they'll also see how it's applied and then get that as a sort of model for how they might apply their own learning, which is again something that there's this affordance of being able to have time before coming to the class. They can think about it, they can consider how they would apply the same things. There are also recent publications, because some of the design concepts talked about in the video originated a while ago, and it's good to have those sort of fundamental readings on the topic, but I think it's nicer for students to have more recent readings that they can relate to. So I wanted to design questions for them to read, some sort of critical reading things that would guide them through these, and I didn't get to do that, so you would have to imagine as well that there might be some questions prepared about these readings that would allow them to sort of focus and stay on track. It would also be nice to say, well, you don't have to read everything, you could choose just a couple and allow students to have that autonomy as well and not feel too pressured, because it is a lot of reading perhaps to do before coming into a class. There would also be a discussion board, which I didn't get to design, so I would hope that in the class there would be, before coming, some opportunities to discuss, that they will get that face-to-face as well. So the discussion board would be a space for applying ideas, getting some feedback, though if it's asynchronous, they may not get it straight away, and then it may not be as valuable as feedback. But in any rate, there's the opportunity for social learning and creating connections with classmates, which helps to improve